My heart just started to go boom, 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 like so fast. So you're probably just having a bit of a panic attack.
But it felt like a cramp in your foot when you're swimming. When you swim too long, you're like, there's agony. But I remembered it felt just like the pericarditis I'd suffered 10 years earlier.
I feel like I died when I got that vaccine. That's how it feels. I was working at a rest home and we didn't get a choice. It was like immediate. I started to get stabbing pain on the left side of my chest. My daughter rushed me to the emergency department and the doctor there said to me that I was the fourth person in that day. And that's when I was like, but I thought that this was all safe and effective.
And you could draw a line straight down the middle of my body and this whole side was just tingly and weak. I thought, wow, am I having a stroke? And that afternoon, everything just became heavy. It's like life became overcast.
He had the Pfizer vaccine and then he was thundering down the road in a 56-tonne truck, double trailer.
And it started getting really aggressive. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat and out my chest.
And they took him to Ashburton Hospital.
This is when things started getting interesting. At this point, I could barely talk because the pain was that much. And one of the first things that happened when I got to ED was one of the doctors leant over me and said, "Don't let this put you off your second vaccine."
But the worst part is the gaslighting, is people being ignored, laughed at by doctors shutting doors on them, doctors ushering them out, just totally disregarding what they have to say. To be honest, it's become like a belief system.
Here is a resource to actually explain to you that why what you're doing is wrong. And here's 10 points of why it's wrong.
So after the second stroke, I went and saw my doctor and he said, "Come see me in a week." He had a wad of paper that he had printed off from the British Medical Journal. He said, "I had no idea this was going on." But he said, "Everything you've been telling me is carbon copy of tens of thousands of cases that have been happening in the UK." And now he's lost his job.
So they do all their tests, and anyway, they finally said, "Oh yeah, okay, so it possibly is the vaccine, you've got pericarditis." Monitored me for about 24 hours, and then said, "Oh, you can just go home now, but make sure you get your second shot."
And the sad part was the waiting room was full of young people. Like, that's not what a cardiologist's waiting room should look like, ever. And that's when I was like, all right, there's going to be a loss out here.
So I got my COVID vaccination, and it would have been within probably about 48 hours where I noticed my hands were shaking a lot. So I was holding my books, listening in class. I felt like I was going to rip the page out of my book basically because my left hand, I couldn't hold it still. I was 17 at the time.
They know there are many of us out here that are really suffering. They know they're culpable for that. But not one of them is prepared to stand up and say, "We did this, we're really sorry."
They know exactly what they're doing when they look at you and they say, "Hey, I know that you're going through all this, but let me play devil's advocate." Two words that I've come to hate.
Just terrified to go to sleep every day. Just worried, am I going to wake up?
I think the words I choose to use have to be good because they might be the last words that I say to people who I love.
I'm really proud of myself for saying what I've said today because the reality is my body's fucked. And I'm in so much pain and discomfort most of the time. It's really hard for me to think positively. So this is the way forward. So trying to reframe things as my spiritual journey and to speak that is a really powerful thing. Thank you.